I've made a few videos lately on relationships and my viewpoints on relationships of various types, and it's caused a little bit of a stir. And many of the comments, well, actually, there hasn't been one comment that I've received that has actually captured the essence of what I'm saying. Different folks have grabbed bits here and there and decided, oh, he must mean this. They've picked up bits, and because everybody runs from their programming. But I've got a video response here from a a friend of mine. I used to call him Thor, then he cut all his hair off, and so he's called the Raw Vegan Adventure on YouTube. And he made a video response saying, should vegans have open relationships? Response to Matthew Armstrong. And I don't disagree with what Milos is saying. He's coming from his programming, as everybody comes from their programming. So everybody is right according to their point of view. Otherwise, that they've built up these points of view, and to them they're right in what they're saying. The way to get out of our programming is to question it, is to not believe it. That's the way to transcend our programming. And I've told different stories in the past of how I realized that my programs weren't real. My beliefs weren't real, my thoughts weren't real. They were just, these programs that you can upgrade at any time. Anytime you can upgrade them. And the way to upgrade them is to question them. The way to upgrade them is to not believe them. And you don't believe them by questioning them. You say, well, hold on a minute. You don't just blindly believe them, you question them. And by doing that, you upgrade them to more healthier beliefs, right? More holistic thoughts and more holistic beliefs rather than fragmented. So what I see with the comments that I receive, they're very fragmented, coming from various types of programming. So I'm going to do Milos I'm basically going to respond to his video response because he was, he made a video response, so I'm going to go to the effort to responding to what he says. So here we go.
This is now a response video to Matthew Armstrong from Vera Potential, and we are good friends with Matthew. I actually visited him in Spain this summer. Yeah, and I agree with many of his things he said, but now he posted a video where pretty much like you're allowed to fuck other people, even if you're...
Okay, so the first thing I'll take is the words, and I know English isn't Milos's first language, so I do take that into account, but simply saying you're allowed to fuck other people. What does that mean? You're allowed or you're not allowed? Shouldn't we be free to do what we want to do as long as it's not hindering, as long as we're not hurting someone else, as long as we're not going against somebody else's will, right? And so my whole thing was about follow your highest desires and be with somebody who is in support of your highest desires. And somebody says to me, well, if it's somebody's highest desire to rape somebody, should you just be okay with that? Should you accept that? No, that is not your highest desires. That comes from a very traumatic place. That it comes from a very unhealthy personality. I'm talking about your highest desires when you're at a very holistic and healthy personality. What your highest desires are then, when you're in a really good state, when you're feeling great, when your viewpoint is holistic, when you're not coming from a place of fear, you're coming from a place of love. When you're not coming from a place of insecurity, you're coming from a place of security, right? What are your highest desires then? Because those are your highest desires that are coming from your higher self. That's what we're talking about here, right? So let's get on the same page first of all.
In a relationship, so he like kind of agrees with having more sexual partners. He says like it's normal, it's in our role to do that. It's not
Okay, well, statistically, it is normal to have more than one sexual partner in our lives. Of course, it is. You know, nearly everyone you talk to has had many sexual partners in their lives, right? Even the prudest of people have generally had a handful of sexual partners in their whole life, right? You know, with Belgium has a 68% divorce rate. You know, Europe on average around 63% divorce rate. America 51% divorce rate. I'm not sure about the rest of the world. There's a very, very high divorce rate because that means people are going, hold on a minute, you know, I want to see other people, right? And so they do. And just because people are getting divorced doesn't mean the people that aren't getting divorced doesn't mean they're not seeing other people. There are, you know, extramarital affairs are rampant, right? You know, it's very few that's not happening, you know, very small percentage. So yes, it is actually normal statistically. If it's accepted, no, generally it's not accepted. And here's the issue. Because it's not accepted, then it causes all sorts of negative problems, all sorts of horrible things happen because of the lack of acceptance of who we are, of our personality types, and how we all have different personalities, right? So acceptance is a very important thing to take away from this. Acceptance, once we can accept something, that opens us up to unconditional love. Without acceptance, we can't have unconditional love. This is the same as, you know, in the microcosm of acceptance within ourselves, acceptance within our, in our household, in our family, of each other, acceptance of other nationalities, of acceptance of other races, acceptance of other religions, acceptance of other cultures, right? You know, the problem comes in when a nation goes into another nation and it says, hey, you know, you all ain't Christian. You know, doesn't matter what you're worshipping before. That's a lesser god. You need to be Christian, you know, or you need to be Muslim, or you need to be whatever. This is not acceptance, right? This is saying, no, we don't agree with that because we've got this other programming, so we need to impose our programming onto you. So I'm not saying that anyone's wrong. What I'm saying is everybody is programmed, and you know, when would it now be a good time to upgrade the programming to a place of more acceptance?
In our DNA, I kind of like disagree with it. At this point in my life, I disagree with it because
Perfectly fine.
like I'm in a relationship now for 2 years, and we're also practicing the no orgasm challenge, which you heard about from my videos, no fat from other people's videos. And like the more I practice it, the less I desire the sex with other girls. So we got cross-country skiers there. Okay, I can talk now. So
this is I find this funny. Milos is walking out in the forest and he's telling the whole world about his opinions through YouTube. But a couple of cross-country skiers cross his path and he goes, I have to wait till they leave, then I can start talking again, even though he's in Slovakia or somewhere, they won't even understand English. Pretty funny. So anyways, what Milos is saying here is, because of his experience, he doesn't agree with what I'm saying. But that's just him. That's his experience. Doesn't mean that has to be somebody else's experience. So, you know, again, it comes to the place of acceptance, of realizing that not everybody has the same personality type as you. Not everyone has the same energetic makeup. Not everybody has, you know, if you go follow the Enneagram, there are 54 different personality types, including the subtypes and the variants as well. It makes up 54 different personality types. You know, one of the biggest problems in the world is people try and fit everybody into the same box. Look, because I'm like this, because I think like this, then everybody else should be the same. You know, the organized person comes in and goes, look, I like everything really organized, you know. You need to be really organized too. and the other person is kind of messy and stuff, and then they're like, well, your organization annoys me, and it's got to be some acceptance there, right? So it's a very naive and immature way of viewing the world and viewing people, is to think that, look, I'm like this and this works for me, so then you should be like this too, right? No, it doesn't work like that. Acceptance, right? That's going to take us further than anything.
After practicing no orgasm challenge, I don't have a desire to fuck other girls. Pretty much, I don't see them as sexual objects.
Okay, so by saying I don't see them as sexual objects, that is presupposing that, because it's a video response to me, that's presupposing that I somehow insinuated that that girls are sexual objects to be fucked randomly or something. And I said nothing even close to that. So that is incorrect. That is a false presupposition. And at the same time, is there anything wrong with seeing someone as a sexual object? Some girls like to be seen as sexual objects at times. Some girls want to be sexual objects. Can see that, by the way, some women like to dress. I have been treated as a sexual object in the past. I've been completely treated as a sexual object, just for sex. Afterwards, the girl's like, "Oh, not interested." I'm like, "Huh? I've just been used as a sexual object." I actually quite liked it. So so I don't see an issue with actually seeing someone as a sexual object, if they want to be seen as a sexual object and treated that way, which I have been in the past, right? And I know for a lot of guys like to be treated like sexual objects. A lot of women like to be treated like sexual objects at times by certain people in certain situations. So I never insinuated that I see women like sexual objects, but at the same time, I'm not saying it's wrong. If you know what I mean. I'm accepting that some people like it, some people don't. Up to them, right?
And even sex, I don't find anymore as a distraction. It's not like something that I have to have, but if it comes to it, I can definitely have it. So I can focus more on other things, like personal growth. If in a financial situation, I'm more confident. And for me, it's kind of like when you are fucking around with other girls. I'm just saying the word fuck. It's like screwing around with other girls. It's kind of like not like a porn exactly, but it's kind of similar to it. So you're kind of like.
So Milos is talking about having sex with women as being a distraction and preferring to focus on other things, and we actually need distraction. If we spend our whole time with focused energy on something that is being productive or whatever, that will completely burn us out. We need distraction, but the ratio of distraction that we need, of course, that is also important. So anything more than 20% distraction in our lives, if more than 20% of our time is spent in distraction, what's the biggest distraction that quite often we use? Well, these days it's pretty much like Facebook and our newsfeed and stuff like that. But in days gone past was TV. Most people distracted themselves with TV. So people that watch like 3 to 6 hours of TV a day lived an unfulfilled life because they spent so much of their time in distraction. But if you spend 20% or a little bit less of your time in distraction, that is perfectly healthy and it's a really good thing to do. I saw an interview once with this mega successful guy, and he spent an hour a day playing video games. He's this like huge CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but every day he spent an hour playing video games. He said, "That's my distraction. That's my downtime." Nothing wrong with a bit of distraction. How you get it, up to you. Whatever you enjoy doing, do that, right? Like I said, not everybody wants the same thing. And here's the issue. This is the scarcity issue in the world. Everyone thinking that everybody wants the same thing. They don't, And that changes your mindset from a scarcity mindset to more of an abundance mindset and an acceptance mindset as well.
Distracting yourself with the sex with other girls. girls, you know, because your brain is surprised, like, oh, yeah, other girl, you know, or something else. And he said, like, relationship like that can work. And I don't know, like, he's got some interesting other things to say to it. And he's in a long relationship with Victoria. So I don't know, like, maybe there is something to it. But for right now, this is my perspective. Like, I don't need to have sex with other girls. And sex is not something that I'm distracting myself with anymore. And now I find other things much more enjoyable, like sports and finishing 13 running races, you know what I mean?
I don't know, it's like saying that, you know, I find things like running in races more enjoyable than sex. I don't know. Hopefully, Sonia, you don't get too pissed off with him saying that, you know. Yeah, like for me personally, I'm not interested in running races. I'm not interested in competition. I'm not interested in being competitive. I probably could have been a world champion in martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai or something like that. You know, I was asked to go on the professional circuit over in Thailand in Muay Thai. And, you know, there's part of that competitiveness, that ego that's like, oh yeah, I'd like that. You know, be paid in the ring and have thousands of people watching me and stuff like that. And I in the end, I let it go. Because I didn't want to be, there be a winner and a loser. I didn't want to go in that ring and destroy that person's hopes and, you know, their face at the same time. You know, I didn't actually, I loved martial arts, but I didn't actually enjoy whacking people and hurting them, and them going out of the ring feeling deflated and me going out of the ring feeling inflated, but there's something in the back of my mind going, you know, there's something that I felt uneasy with it, you know. So competitiveness isn't my thing. What is my thing is win-win, and that's what I'm always looking for in life, is a win-win. So then I find martial arts that are win-wins. Everybody wins. Everybody goes out feeling good. Everybody goes out feeling great. It's not like, you know, there's winners and losers in each thing. I don't do sports where there's winners and losers. I like win-win. I like win-win in everything in life. And any interaction I have with a person, and any business interaction, whatever it is, it's a win-win. You know, I don't want to get in an argument with anyone, because that's a win-lose. Somebody goes away feeling bad. I don't want that. I want a win-win with anyone, any situation. And that's my mindset. That's what I'm thinking. Win-win. So if you're in a relationship, you know, I'm not saying, yeah, you should just, you know, have an open relationship with your partner. If the person doesn't want it, the person is really insecure, they've got a lot of, you know, past trauma from childhood and stuff, they're really insecure, and you're going, hey, let's just have an open relationship, it'll be cool, you know, and then you go off and start having sex with other people, and that person feels even more secure. You know, that's actually a win-lose. What you want to be finding is a win-win with whoever you're with. And, you know, and that can take time. That can take a lot of personal growth. So, you know, Milo says he's more interested in personal growth and stuff like that. You won't find more personal growth than being completely honest with the person you're with. You know, radical honesty with the person you're with. You're going to have more personal growth than that, than anything. And I'm not saying Milos isn't, because I think he's actually a very honest individual with his girlfriend as well. You know. So hopefully we get to the end of this, because my battery's about to go.
Yeah, so that's my point of it. Nature also says, like, in nature you got, I think, animals, and they're definitely not sticking to one partner, but they're having multiple sex partners throughout their lives. And pretty much that we are closer to chimpanzees than the elephants are together in so pretty much chimpanzees are having multiple sex partners, and so should we. But I'm living proof that you can definitely have just one sex partner.
Okay, so what I actually said is, you know, our DNA is closer to that of a human DNA is closer to that of a chimpanzee and a bonobo monkey than an African elephant is to an Indian elephant. You know, we're so close to chimpanzees, And so, we can learn a lot by their behaviors, because, they haven't received the programming, the intellectual programming that we receive from our cultures, from our religions and society in general. So yeah, there's lots to learn from them. But I'm not saying because they do it, we should do that too. I wasn't saying that. I'm just looking to break down the programs a bit and saying, hey, here's an interesting thing. Make us think. Milos is saying he's living proof that you can only have one sexual partner. I'm not taking anything away from Milos, but he is still very, very young, and probably still has a lot of personal self-discovery to do in his life. Sure, when I was Milos's age, there's no way I was as advanced in thinking and everything that he is. So hats off to Milos for that. But again, he's also saying that I'm living proof, but does that mean that everybody should be like him? Because he's living proof is fine. Should everybody then be like him? Or should we all just follow our own paths, right? Yeah, instead of like going, well, that person did that, let's just follow them. Should we all not just be our authentic selves? Is that a better way to be? I think it's a better way to be, that we be our authentic selves, rather than thinking, well, because somebody else didn't want to. It's also saying that, well, because I can do this way is better. Why is it better? It starts bringing more questioning that breaks down the programming,
And don't find sex as something that you have to have, but that you can have, but you don't have to have it, If you practice the no orgasm challenge, the hardest is, of course, first 1-2 weeks, you're gonna have your own fucking dreams about it, But then it gets much easier. And I'm definitely gonna do more videos about it. And for me, it's a big part of my success and my confidence. I have definitely sleep upsets as well, and when I start masturbating and even watching porn, that's still like, now I don't watch porn, it was a long time, but I remember when I used to watch porn, that's when I was thinking the most about other girls. And even when I had sex with my girlfriend, I was thinking about other girls. And yeah, so that's my analogy. So I respect Matthew's opinion, and this is just like having discussion, getting the conversation, and yeah, let me know what you think about it down below. See you later.
Alright, cool. Good video, Milos, giving your views. Thank you. Is there anything more to say? I don't know, about the whole porn thing. No orgasm. Again, it's just down to the individual. I've gone months and months and months without orgasming. I used to do lots of spiritual practices, spent a long time in meditation and things like that. Spent time in monasteries and retreats and all sorts of things. And I don't see that it's any great advantage to not have an orgasm for months and months and months, or to have an orgasm 2 times a week or something. You can definitely overdo it. There's no doubt about that. If you overdo it, it starts to sap your energy, but you get renewed. The same way as if you got low energy, you sweat fluids out. You drink more fluids, and then you're replenished again. Your body does replenish itself, right? The same way as you go for a run, you use up a lot of glycogen, and then you have some food, and then it replenishes your stores. The same with your sperm, or whatever. It gets replenished. So I don't really fall into that thing where these gurus are saying, you become enlightened. It takes 12 years of no orgasm before you to reach this state of the Kundalini awakening and stuff like that. I don't believe in that, to be honest. Your body replenishes itself, but of course you can overdo it. If you run, you run a marathon every day, eventually you're going to start to break down. So moderation in what you do is important, but abstinence, that can cause issues. If whatever gets repressed gets expressed in a different and often more uglier way. And we see that with the different religions, with like the priests, the priests who have this vow where they're not going to have sex with anyone for their whole lives, and then they end up getting involved in pedophilia and stuff like that. And obviously some priests go into the priesthood because they get that option, that opportunity for them, But for a lot of them, it's because, and this is also in a lot of different religions as well throughout the world, monks and everything, is they start getting twisted ideas about sexuality because they're repressing something. You try and push something down, it's like a boiler, and it bubbles up and things come out different directions. That's what actually happens. So just remember that whatever you try and repress gets expressed in often uglier ways. So don't repress yourself. Don't repress your sexuality. Whatever your religion says. I think that there's so much BS out there in the religions that put down sex and all this prudism or whatever you want to call it. I think you need to be open. You need to be free. You need to express yourself, not repress yourself. Okay, thanks for watching. Leave us a comment, leave us a question, like the video, subscribe, and see you next time.